Sit back, strap in, and get ready for After Hours with TC Restani. This is Abigail Harwich, executive producer, welcoming you to the show. And now, TC Restani!
Alrighty, welcome to the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast, the first podcast of 2025, and we are here to celebrate 2025. We're not going to play Old Anxiety or anything like that.
No.
I'm TC Restani, as I stated at the opening of this program, and I'm here with my esteemed panel of experts, and I'm going to go around the horn right now and introduce them. Mr. Milk himself over there, Quincy Briscoe. What's going on, QB?
Not much. Yourselves?
Yourself. What's wrong? You got a cold?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
Well, we're just observing. This is like our first show of the year, so I know we already passed the celebration, but for the sake of saying it, we'll say Happy New Year anyway, because this is our first show. And
Perfect.
how about that?
I like that.
And of course, my mentor, Mr. Ricky Bittman.
No, I like the fact that you were wrestling with whether or not to say Happy New Year, because I was doing the same. But you gave into it, which I appreciate.
Why? Is that something you can't say anymore?
Well, I mean, it's what? It's the 16th?
Yeah, people say Happy New Year until like March sometimes.
I remember Seinfeld one time said that. He goes, I once got Happy New Year in March. And they were like saying how they hate when people extend the Happy New Year greeting.
Well, we're the 16th of January. We're not March 17th.
I get it, but you know what? I really had enough of the holidays. I don't even want to talk about them.
I don't even remember the holidays. It seems like it was 2 years ago.
Because you know what? I'm going to tell you why I hated the holidays. I don't know why.
Why?
Why is that?
Too much hugging of people. I'm done with this hugging business.
Well, you are married into an Italian family.
Yeah, but it's not even them. It's like people that it's not like I haven't even seen them in ages. I've seen them like a few weeks ago. Everybody wants to put their arms around and embrace a miserable jerk like me. And I just, you know what I'm going to say from now on? I'm going to, no more hugging.
Okay.
Because I swear to God, that's how I got the Christmas flu.
You had the Christmas flu.
Yeah, and
so did Quincy.
Yeah, we both did. We got waylaid by it.
And so did some of my staff down here. Restani Productions had it as well.
We weren't allowed. That's why this is our first show.
This is why. Well, you know, we don't like to get sick. Me personally. I
know that's your rule, and I respect it.
Right.
And I was texting you and letting you know.
No, you were fine, and you were posting heavily on the After Hours of TC Restani fan page on Facebook.
I wanted people to know that we got knocked down for a little bit.
You did.
And I got tested. Went to urgent care.
Right.
Influenza A. Google it.
What's the difference between influenza A and B?
I think B and C's are just more serious. And this was just basically, it's a chest cold. You're coughing a lot. You're very, I mean, God, did I sleep? Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe I should get this.
Oh, I tell you, I would be sleeping 11 hours a night.
Oh, forget that. I would never be able to do that.
Oh, no, I'm telling you, out like
So you went to the clinic. You know, I used to do what my grandmother used to tell me. What? If you got yellow discharge, you got an infection. If it's clear, you're fine.
I had sort of a green phlegm.
Okay, well, you know.
Viscous. Evil.
They look like from The Exorcist?
Yeah, it was bad.
So what did they prescribe for you?
Well, they said if I had come in when I first started experiencing symptoms, which would have been between the day after Christmas and New Year's Eve, they would have prescribed Tamiflu, which is over the counter. The first signs of a flu infection like that, where you feel like your chest and all that, Tamiflu. Just go to Tamiflu.
No, I know something better.
What?
The hot and sour soup at Peter Wu.
That would probably do it too. I ate a lot of soup.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's good. It heats you up, and I drank a lot of tea.
Tea, yes.
With honey and lemon and all that stuff.
Do you know what's actually good? Did you have a sore throat?
No, nothing like, I hate a sore throat.
If you do have a sore throat, I know a remedy. I saw this online, and I asked someone who actually did it. It works. What's that? You take tomatoes, a tomato.
All right, I'm already wondering.
You cut it up, in fours, and you douse it in all-natural honey.
And then what do you do?
You eat it.
Oh, I was going to say, you just do that and just wait for you.
And you eat it.
I thought you just looked at it.
No, you can smell it, I guess, but...
But don't you think it's the honey that's doing that? What is
well,
the
no,
tomato?
they said there's some sort of acidity. Is that the word?
Acidity?
Acidity
maybe that's it,
in the tomato.
Would you try that one, Quincy?
What I seem to have tried, I don't know if I tried
Get
that.
ready,
but
folks.
Gasoline. Well, I know that. I'm usually, but for now, I tried Mucinex mixed and a fairly good sized spoonful of spicy mustard, and you take that with water. It seems to have cleared up the sinuses.
Now, is this Chinese mustard or just?
That's good question.
Yeah, believe it or not, to me it seems very close to Chinese food.
Well, you can't get Chinese mustard at a store. You have to go to a Chinese restaurant to get that.
Well, spicy
So
mustard.
you got like Goulden
That's what I'm
spicy
thinking.
mustard.
Was this Goulden's?
Well, golden spicy to me, it seems to
You
taste.
should have just made a bologna sandwich and put the mustard on it.
Bologna sandwich.
Yeah, but remind you that this is spicy mustard.
So what?
Yeah, but when I make bologna sandwiches, I like regular yellow mustard. But
Good point.
But this is something I've been trying, and it seemed to have worked. But remind you, this is spicy, so it's spicy. So you drink water with it,
Yeah.
and it goes through your sinuses. And so for now, take that with Mucinex. And
You don't have one of those water machines. You ever see those things that people do now?
The neti pots?
Well, yeah, the neti pots.
Warm up your nose.
Yeah, I see a lot of people doing it on Instagram. It's
Yeah, and they're like, the water's like this.
it's like the snuggers are coming out of it. Some woman did it to her baby who was like really
Yeah,
congested.
yeah, I saw that video.
And
That
then
was
she,
disgusting.
I mean, it looked like like a river of gook come out of
Got
her.
the douche chills. Oh, bleh.
a water machine.
Well, you like pump the water up your nose and all the bad stuff melts.
You'd probably do it with a garden hose,
Yeah.
knowing you. But
And liquid plumber.
yeah, right. It works fine. The Tidy Bowl man came out
But we can laugh about it now, but there was really nothing funny about it at all.
last
it isn't.
summer. I had the flu for 9 days, and it was the worst 9 days
Yeah,
of my summer.
And as we get older, it hits you even harder. So
Well, it hit me because usually, and it was all in my head. I had no chest congestion, and I had an ice pack on my head every night. And I didn't have a fever. It just felt bad.
it's the coughing will just like rattle you to your very soul. And I was doing the Mucinex, which I hate the taste of. But I had-
Tablets.
Oh, you do the tablet? Yeah, that's right. I saw the tablets. I never knew it was tablets, but I see that on TV now.
Well, don't forget now. You're seeing the brand name of Mucinex, but
Yeah.
if you get the store name, such as whoever it is you go to the shop, you save like maybe $3 or $4 off.
Not bad.
And so you get to buy a big
But
pack
I
of.
was drinking the liquid, and it worked. But it's just the taste was just, and I had so much of that in me and Robitussin,
Oh yeah.
and that
Well-
screws your whole system up. All that
I'm
sugary.
a NyQuil guy.
See, I've never taken NyQuil.
You swill the NyQuil, it knocks you out
I was gonna say you always have trouble sleeping. Why don't you just do a little NyQuil?
every night.
No, not every night. My sister used to. Whenever she was sick, she'd down the NyQuil. We wouldn't see her for 3 days. She'd just be gone. That was it. We didn't. We go in every now and then, make sure she was breathing. That was about
Which
it.
put the mirror under the nose
No,
or something.
we could look at her and just she had her own room.
Her
She
chest is moving. She's
was-
alive.
Yeah, she was the oldest. but
most
she-
of these, like I said, most of these medicines you buy brand, but if you look for the store brand,
Because you're the cheapest motherfucker in the world. That's why.
yeah, but why not? If you can do it, save a couple of dollars on.
You and Tosh Lent would get along very well. But you know what I noticed about Tosh Lent? When she has symptoms, she buys Robitussin. When I have symptoms, she comes back from CBS with Tussin, which is the generic CVS.
Well, there you
market
go.
Yeah,
basket
I'm like,
brand.
Doesn't it work just as
Sorry.
good?
I'm sure, but it's the whole idea that she gets Robitussin,
Which
and
is
I
like
get
$4 more.
Purina dog chow tussin. For Christ's sakes. But
As long as it works.
Purina, there's a name we haven't heard in a long time in pet food. Purina.
Purina cat chow. Chow chow chow.
Oh, there you go. Now we're going back to some golden oldies.
Remember Gainsburgers? Remember Gainsburgers?
Wait a minute. Were they like the ones you crumbled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever hear Jay Leno's line about that?
No.
He was on Letterman one night. It was one of the funniest things I ever heard. He goes, have you seen this product? There's these Gainsburgers they sell for dogs, and it comes like shaped in little individual like hamburger patties.
Oh, yeah,
He goes,
Games Burgers, right,
he goes,
right.
he goes, what's the idea behind this? Is this save the dog the trouble of making the patty himself? Which I thought was a great
It
line.
looked like it was made out of Big League Chew.
Yeah, it was just like you would unwrap it and the dog would eat it.
Right.
But it's like Gainsburgers.
Dogs drink toilet water. Like they're going to give a shit about Gainsburgers.
See this dog going, this food looks rather interesting. It comes in patty form.
The thing about having a pet is you have to get to know the pet, and if you don't
What,
want
do you
to
sit down and have a conversation with them?
Now, what would you like for dinner?
well, it says that you go to a vet and have the vet, they'll give a trial basis and say your pet is going to have this. Then you get like three or
Especially
four.
if he sells it.
Yeah. And then
What you need, Quincy, for
Yeah.
your dog is I
Blue.
have, let's see here.
Grass-fed bison.
Yeah, grass-fed bison imported from Alaska.
It's expensive, but isn't your dog worth it?
Right. Isn't Rover worth it?
When you have a pet, you know what? It's priceless. You know, it's what you call priceless.
Well, it's not priceless because they cost a lot of money,
They
dogs.
do. It's a big,
The moments of what you call
big
priceless.
responsibility.
It is. It's like a huge responsibility. But if you really...
See, I always use it. I had Bull at my house for many a times.
That's a big responsibility.
So he would pee and poop on the floor as well, like a dog. So I used to have a little area for Bull.
I can only imagine that.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like having a baby, you know. But in this case, it's a pet.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. You're not wrong.
You know, but you know what? You give your love to the pet. You know, for those who love pets. So my advice: if you're not sure what the pet's gonna eat, go to a vet.
Do you know what our dog ate? I had a Welsh Corgi growing up. It ate what we ate.
Yeah, that's true.
And the dog lasted 18 years.
Yeah.
So that dog food crap is a lot of horseshit.
Yeah.
It's probably made out of horseshit, too.
Tasha's dog lived a long life, and her father would feed her leftover lasagna.
Yeah.
Dog ate like a king.
You didn't actually buy pet food?
Never. Not once. Our dog at Thanksgiving had a plate of turkey, mashed potatoes, and all the trimmings. Christmas time, same thing. It would have ice cream. That thing about chocolate, bullshit. Gave the dog chocolate.
I poured some beer in the dog's dish one time. He loved it.
Yeah, but then, make sure you don't give the dog too much, otherwise
No,
the
just
dog
a
is...
little. You know, here you go.
Do you think the dog's going to drive?
Yeah, but there's such a thing as hangovers, and the dog is going to be walking up. Ow, wow.
One of these days, we're gonna spike your milk.
Oh, dear God. Speaking of that, for all those people who remember, I was trying to do the dry January. Here it is, the 16th. Not a drop of booze since New Year's Eve.
Wow. Oh, that's some applause there.
And everyone knows how I like my beer. I'm going to give it another couple of weeks because I already noticed like the bloating kind of went down a little bit.
Yeah.
I just don't
I
feel
was gonna
like...
say you look different.
I just feel like
Your hair seems fuller.
Well, I didn't product it today, so very good and nice of you to notice since I don't have my cap on. Because you know why? I'm way overdue for a haircut, too.
Me too.
And there's nothing I can do with this hair when it gets this long. So Tuesday, I'm going to see my buddy Abdul around the corner.
I'm going Tuesday as well to the barbershop a little down the street from him, a couple doors down.
Fades?
Yes.
Oh, la-di-da. Those guys are hardcore.
Hey, they got merch.
They do.
Yeah.
Abdul has no merch.
I know who you're talking about,
Yeah.
Abdul. I know he's up in the brick building.
Yeah, I always call him and I say, hey, how about Tuesday? He goes, Tuesday, 5:30. Okay, see you then, my friend.
I'll be going at 10:30.
How much you pay for a haircut, man?
You first.
30.
Same thing.
Yeah, he just went up to 30.
The guy who used to own this place before he got run
I
over,
bet, well, don't tell me, like 10 bucks?
12.
I remember him. Poor bastard.
The guy was great.
He was. I got my hair cut in there once.
Southie Boston Jeff used to get his hair cut in there all the time because
he was
the guy who owned it grew up with his dad.
Really?
Yeah.
And he probably had the same books that Jeff had. The whole window was full of books, so paperback
Well, he had books. It was all about Frank Sinatra and the Red Sox because
Yeah.
he was a bat boy in the 60s.
And what was the name of the shop?
Yankee Clipper.
Oh, and that was Joe DiMaggio was the Yankee Clipper.
Okay, well, there you go. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio?
You like that, huh? So, you know, and then a lot of people say, well, you know, Bittman, 2 weeks, but you've been sick for the 2 weeks. I just went out to dinner with friends, and I had cranberry juice with club soda.
All right.
And you know what I had for dinner? Instead of my usual, I would have had like a burger or something. I had this nice salad with goat cheese, cranberries, pecans, and a little grilled chicken on it.
Wow.
It was a nice salad, and I had that for dinner. It was good.
For breakfast and lunch, I've been having smoothies.
Nothing wrong with that.
Strawberry, blue.
You're like a smoothie connoisseur.
Like strawberry, blueberry, little egg whites, spring water, a lemon, cut lemon.
Yeah.
And if I want some extra protein in there, I put some peanut butter.
Now wait a minute. With the egg whites, do you cook them?
No, just they got the liquid egg whites. And and I just pour it in there. That's pure protein. And it thickens. I have a NutriBullet, that's what I have, a NutriBullet. I freeze the berries, so it acts like ice.
Tosh does that too. Yeah.
And it's delicious and thick. And I'm telling you, you're full.
No, I
for
bet.
hours.
I
It
bet.
like sticks to your bones.
Could I ask you one question? What's a NutriBullet?
It's the blender.
Oh, the NutriBullet is just a...
That's the name of it.
Yeah, it's like the George Foreman grill of.
Yeah, it will grind
blenders.
anything. I mean,
So it's a name, so it's nickname Blender. Okay, all right,
yeah,
gotcha.
you're not just going to blend. It's a NutriBullet.
Tosh bought one of those. It's collecting dust.
Oh, mine, I love it. I mean, I use it twice a day.
I don't know what the hell she's doing. But she ain't
And
using it
you know
for-
what I've given up on the is the seltzers.
Really?
I've gone back to like I said a couple episodes ago, the hard water.
Just
The
straight-
Poland
straight,
Spring.
yeah.
And you know what? When I drink, I used to drink. I was like an alcoholic with the seltzer.
Yeah.
And I used to go number one all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know because the water's thinner and it has carbonation in it, but when I drink the hard stuff, I don't go as much.
No, nothing wrong with taking a pee.
I was going. I mean, I was chugging those things like
Okay.
like 3 an hour. So
Yeah, see, I do plain seltzers, as you know. I will do one at lunchtime and maybe 2 around dinner time, and that's it.
and I'm drinking out of a red Solo
Red
cup.
Solo Cup. Amen. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Quincy. I know you had something
Yeah,
to do with
Abby
this.
sent Quincy out to get a red cup today. You brought back like 100 of them.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, you won't run out of them for a while.
My mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
And speaking of Abby, over in the Studio B, she's having
Yeah.
something over there that we're not allowed to go to.
Yeah. I heard it's a fashion show.
It was a fashion show. Is she in it, or is she just producing
I
it?
smell a lot of perfume. I think this whatever dish she's serving over there, there's no sausage in it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
They're all running around in their slips.
Because all I heard
Snapping
since I got
towels.
here early is just
Yeah.
and like some DJ or something over there. And
I don't think any boys are allowed.
and I said, Abby, what is it? You can't come in. You can't come in.
You can't come in. You can't come in.
So she just takes over everything.
She's the executive producer.
of this program, but not Fashion Weekly
She
over
probably
there.
just said, give them some red cups so they'll shut up.
Pretty much, yeah. Here, give Quincy $20 and go down and get some red cups. And that's what happened. And well,
They had to, like I said, for some reason, I got the very last one. Otherwise, we would have had to settle for something else. But you wanted
You
that.
did a good job.
especially now when I make my smoothies, I fill up 2 of these with 1 NutriBullet. Rather than, because if you drink out of the NutriBullet, for some weird reason I chug it and like goes out the sides of your
Yeah,
mouth.
that's a big cup.
It
I
gets a
remember
mess.
that, yeah.
So it's in the Solo cup. So
Place for everything and everything in its place.
and there it is. So it's unbelievable. And actually, the lemon, I put the whole the rind in it as well.
Really? The
Yeah,
skin?
yeah. They said that's where the nutrients really are.
I was just thinking of this video that's on the interwebs of the young girl that squeezes the lemon in her eye because this was like a TikTok challenge. Jeez. It's the funniest thing you ever saw because she literally like loses her shit immediately. But I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? You know, squeeze a lemon in your eye?
Yeah,
But now, okay, so you have this in the morning?
and afternoon.
Okay. And then you have something
I have a
sensible for
regular dinner.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, usually a fish or a like tonight. I got a veggie pocket, and tomorrow night's Friday. I'm going out with Airwolf Chris and intern Nolan.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going out to the Woo.
Oh, good, good.
So I'll be getting my usual order there.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I think Tasha's still.
You won't
coming
be
off the end
drinking.
of this. I will not be drinking. And you know what? Tonight was the big test because when I went in, I mean this place
Thirsty
was like-
Thursday.
Well, it's not only that, but like I went in and I just see that rows and rows of draft beer taps, and I talk about it like I drink. I mean, I would have got my nice Bud Light
Right.
draft beer that I enjoy so much. But here's the thing. I go out to a restaurant, I order a 22 ounce, because you always say, I'll have a Bud Light draft. 16 or 22? 22. I mean, so that's 22 ounces of beer. I have 5 of those. That's 110 ounces of beer.
And how many calories is that?
I have no idea. But that's what I'm throwing down. So I figure if I can just go another 2 weeks, see what the changes have made, and then I'm just trying to back off and get back to pre-COVID. Because pre-COVID, I'd have a beer with dinner and that was it.
What about your real American beer?
Oh, I'm going down to Florida soon. If they have that, I'm going to get that because that is lower in calories and lower in carbs than most of the beers that are out there. So I'll get like maybe a case of that that'll last me the entire week.
You think you'll get booed if you drink it?
Fuck that. I'm sorry. But listen, I can't believe these. And everyone is talking about this like Hogan. He was forgiven. Everything was great. He was making appearances. Everyone loved him. He was going well. All of a sudden, California, this was a calculated attack because he came out in support of Donald Trump.
Correct. And people are like, well, The Undertaker had him on his podcast. He didn't appear at the RNC.
Exactly.
That's it. Triple H. Triple H was at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve.
Exactly. But they just pick on Hogan
Right.
for crying. And their whole excuses and all the propaganda that's out there. And I'm going to say right now, someone was piping in booze because I think wrestling fans now are stupid.
What a combination. Donald Trump and Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Imagine that.
I mean, did the crowds like that, or?
They loved it. Well, at wrestling, they weren't so crazy, but I think this was all a stage thing. They're trying to take Hogan down. They're trying to bring down Trump any way they can, and this is.
But why would the WWE want to do that? Because they're in business.
I think somebody in the arena piped in those boos, and then the sheep followed the stupid wrestling fans. I really do.
I felt bad for Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, I mean Jimmy's out there. I mean, but you know what?
But you know what? Jimmy Hart was booed for 90% of his career.
Of course, he's used to being the bad guy. And then people are like, oh, this is an angle. Hogan's going to come back as a bad guy. I don't think that's true. I just think this is just a bunch of bullshit, and all these people are out there. I can't forget what he said. I can't forget. Yeah, but you did. A few weeks ago, you weren't even thinking of it.
Right.
That just got brought up again. More propaganda, like dropping leaflets from the planes. I mean, come on. Give Hogan a break, brother. Everyone changes. Everyone makes mistakes. People have done some terrible things.
It's like the speech at the end of Rocky IV.
Yeah.
I could change. You could change.
That's right.
Everyone can change.
What a combination. The crowds must have loved it.
Must have been, quite. But no.
Donald Trump and Hulk Hogan.
They did. But you know what? let's just see what the next four years bring. That's all I'm going to say. But geez, give Hogan a break, brother. For crying out loud, that was just. And you're booing Hulk Hogan, but you're cheering these. I watched the Netflix.
I don't have Netflix. I just watched it. I watched the clips on YouTube.
Well, you were smart because you told me, and I fell for the hype. So I tuned in, and it was exciting. But then I'm like, you know what? It's the same shitty product. Just on a different channel. None of these guys can cut a promo. I mean, it's all like these. Nobody wrestles anymore. Everything is moves. They don't even call. Do you know they don't even use the word wrestling anymore or wrestlers?
They do now that Triple H took it over. They were sports entertainers when Vince was around.
So they're back to using the word
they're
wrestling.
They're using
again?
wrestling. They are wrestlers.
Okay, because I was trying to see.
Or they call them superstars.
Yeah,
but they've been calling them superstars since 1986.
No, I get that, but like you just don't hear like the wrestling. I don't know. There's just there's something. You listen. You put it in a different package. It's still the same bag of crap as far as I'm concerned. I'm not that excited about it.
You got to remember though, they go to school for this. So you have to fall the right way. Otherwise, you're gonna like.
No, as far as that, but like even still, like all these. I mean, they're either doing these visually, like you can tell it's like all scripted, like
Cirque
bouncing.
du Soleil.
Yeah, it's synchronized, like synchronized swimming, or they're just going completely over the top and just killing each other, and I don't get it.
Well, that's what I mean. You go to school for this, and you have to, if you want to be a wrestler, and they'll say, "Don't try this at home."
And one of the angles I've been following was the whole Paulie Dangerously and Roman Reigns. Is it Roman? No, who's the big Samoan now? Is it Roman Reigns? Yeah, Roman Reigns.
They're professionally
Like,
trained
the whole thing,
wrestlers.
I was laughing at Paul Heyman. I'm almost like, what? Is he serious? Like.
Yes, my tribal chief.
Yeah, it was like getting kind of. I was like, this is kind of corny. I mean, I didn't expect that, but it was a good match. But I don't know.
I haven't seen it. The only show I watch every year is WrestleMania, and I did watch Saturday Night's Main Event, the reboot, because of Jesse.
Yeah, that was.
And he wasn't that bad.
No,
but whatever. It's not the same. I understand.
Yeah,
that.
No matter what they do, you're never gonna get that feeling.
No, of course, because that was the Wild West back then.
It really was. That feeling of how it just was like. Regardless of how smart you were and anything, there was always the doubt. For me anyway.
You were entertained.
Yeah, and I loved it.
It was fun. It was entertaining.
It was. I say to people, it was the purest form of theater there was.
Sure.
And it was just a simple idea.
They don't get a second take.
No, true. I mean, my God. I mean, how many times have we seen stuff like that? You watch these old clips. Piper's doing that off the top of his head.
Yeah. All of them did it off the top of their head back then.
Nowadays,
they didn't have scripts.
No, it was the same crap.
They had bullet points. All right, I'm coming to this, there, and there. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Now it's just ridiculous.
I don't know. But
so you have your infamous wisdom sheet over there.
Well, we've just been going through it. We're down to Hogan got booed on
Hogan
Netflix.
got booed, yeah.
But I will say, now, do you ever watch the show Big Bang Theory?
Some of those are good.
Aren't they good?
Mark Dustin, Koala, loves that show.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the show. I'm not saying I'm not. I think it went on a little bit too long.
Yes, 100%.
But what's her name is adorable, Kaylee Cuoco.
Boy, does she have a butt.
But
here's my thing about this, because I only watched Big Bang Theory in syndication. I never watched it when it was on the air. So, 3 different channels, I think, run Big Bang Theory and repeats.
Every day.
Yes. So you'd bounce around I never really watched them in order. So one of the things I did while I was sick, laid out, was I went on to Max, HBO Max, and I started watching them in
order?
consecutive order. Now, I'm up to season 3, episode 9. And it was the one where they get broken into, and then after it was the one where something snapped in Sheldon's head, and he couldn't figure something out, and he was like hiding in the ball pit. But at any rate, we're up to this episode. They had just introduced Bernadette, and I'm thinking, okay, we're getting close to the ramp, okay, where he goes up and jumps the shark. Because the introduction of that character, I think, is kind of where it starts to go downhill. Because
I've only seen maybe, I shouldn't say, it has more than a handful of episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it, but I really don't know storylines.
it's excellent. It really is good up until they started making them. Like, that kid, Jim Parsons.
Yeah, no, I've met him. He's a very nice guy.
Really?
Very nice guy.
Oh, I imagine. I mean, he was like the highest paid actor on television at one point.
It was like $1 million something an episode.
And I'm telling you, this character he created, this thing is flawless. His portrayal of this, but he went from being like, I don't think that's right. I mean, the quantum leaps that dissectify this and that, like, then he also goes, he just became sort of like, you can't bother me.
Bazinga.
Yeah, and he's like, la-di-da, la-di-da, all this Nelly, like, and I was like, what the fuck happened to him? And so I'm trying to find out where this jumped the shark.
Jump the shark.
I don't know where it jumped the shark.
What are you doing?
Quincy sniffling over there. So
I think some of that got in your drink. Be careful.
wouldn't be the first time I drank Lysol.
So I not that that's that exciting, but when you're sick, what do you do? So I watched that, and I watched Death Wish
3?
2 and 3.
Oh, 2 sucks.
I know 2 is bad.
3 is awesome.
I introduced Tosh to the giggler.
Oh, they killed the giggler.
They shot the giggler.
They had no business doing that.
I'm coughing because of that.
Oh, you could be going coughing because of the giggler.
No.
Now, getting back to Big Bang Theory. Imagine if she played Fiona for one episode.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm usually not into the blondes, but
No.
there's something about her.
She is, and there's also a part where she really held her own in a comedy, which is tough to do.
Sure.
She held her own with those guys who were very funny guys. That the Johnny Galecki kid and
He's from Christmas Vacation.
the Indian kid and the Jewish kid and
Right.
Kuthrapali and Wolowitz.
Wolowitz could play, if they ever rebooted Gilligan's Island,
Oh yeah, that's a good.
he could be Gilligan.
He really could be.
Easily.
Jesus. Very talented guys, and she held her own with them. But then, like all of a sudden, like when the show started taking that turn, and I think it might be season 4 when it happens. Like she definitely got her nose fixed because it was like.
Well, you know who she kind of like was under the learning tree of?
Oh.
John Ritter.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
So that, she got some Chrissy training.
yeah, but she didn't need to get her nose fixed.
Honestly, I didn't even know that.
Well, trust me, you can see the difference. And then she went from like being really good with her face, but I think like the surgery, she just started doing like these duck lifts all the time. Everything was this. And so I kind of got sick of that. But I don't know. It's probably not the
I would
most
like to
exciting.
sample those lips, but
Oh, no, she is an absolute doll. But the thing about her, though, she's fucking funny. She can hold her own in a comedy. She was a funny,
obviously
funny
that show was on for what, like 7 years?
12 seasons.
Oh my God, it was on that long?
12 seasons. And I'm only in season 3.
Oh well, you're gonna
But I
get,
think it jumped the shock early.
you're
I
gonna
do.
get sick again, I guess, huh?
No, well, every night. Well, the good thing about it on Max is there's no commercials, and they're over like that.
So they're 22 minutes.
Yes, so
You
that's
keep
what I love.
saying jump the shark.
You remember when Fonzie jumped the
I
shark?
was going to say, the
Okay.
only one who really jumped the shark was Fonzie.
All right, I'm going to try to explain this as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But in a lot of people's minds, when Fonzie went on the water skis and jumped over the shark,
Right.
after that, Happy Days was never the funny show it used to be.
And that was only the 3rd season.
Yeah. It just became something different. Fonzie became magic. Before Fonzie was cool, but
He
then
was
it was like,
godlike.
yeah, he could do anything. He could hit something and the building would fall down and all this.
I mean,
all the lights would go off in a building.
He fought Mork, who was from outer space,
Yes.
with his thumb.
Yeah, and he won. It wasn't just the old cute with the jukebox anymore. It became a whole thing. Yeah. So a lot of people say when a show goes bad, that's when it jumps the shark. Like Different Strokes, when they introduced that little
Danny
kid.
Cookski.
Yes, Danny Cookski. That's when the show jumped the shark.
Cousin Oliver.
Yeah. When did 8 is Enough jump the shark?
When they brought in Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio. And then Welcome Back Kotter jumped the shark when Barbarino left, from John Travolta. So it was.
And they brought in Bo.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a figure
the
of
Southern
speech.
gent
The Southern sweat hog.
in Brooklyn. You know.
Are you saying it's a figure of speech? Jump the shark.
Yes.
Well, it's become a term that people use.
Ah, right. So it's a figure of speech. They don't really go on jump a shark.
Yeah.
Well, the Fonzie did. but-
Fonzie did, but
right.
nobody else.
Right.
But jump the shark, in other words, like they want to try to do something cool, like
It's like the After Hours show, Jump the Shark, when we let Glenn on the air.
Oh, 100%. 100. We didn't jump the shark. We jumped the ocean on that one.
We love Glenn.
We do love Glenn, but we did jump the shark when we brought
Yeah,
him
I
on.
heard it.
Yeah. Didn't you like my out of focus pictures that I sent you? Maybe if you charged your battery. So yes, we understand. Every show has jumped the shark.
Yeah, at some point or another, the show does.
Except Breaking Bad.
100%. Yeah, you're right.
That show never jumped the
Nope.
shark. Shameless jumped the shark when Fiona left.
100%. Yeah, that's. Oh.
Notice we brought her up again, but it doesn't matter. I saw her. I was watching reruns, and it was just like,
Have you watched that? Was it a movie or a series she did with the girl on the billboard?
no, she looked hideous.
Yeah, it didn't look like her.
I mean, granted, they camouflage her, and so the people wouldn't think it was her from Shameless. But they, what was it, Angelina or something?
Yeah, it's like a girl's name.
They gave her like the big giant fake boobs and made her Marilyn Monroe. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I know you're talking. It looked nothing like her.
I think it's on Max HBO.
No, it can stay there.
Yeah, I haven't even been tempted to watch that. With all the TV I watched, I didn't watch that.
Right.
But what else did I?
The Waltons, when they jumped the shark, they had the replacement John Boy.
Yes, yeah, that's
Dukes of Hazzard and Coy and Vance showed up.
100%. See, it's usually when they introduce like a kid or something like that to the like Scooby Doo jumped the shark when Scrappy.
Oh
showed
God,
up.
did it ever?
Yeah, it was not cool anymore.
We was talking about that the other day. I mean, that was 1980. So I was what, like 9? And even at 9 years old, I was like, this is horrible.
It is terrible.
Bring back the Mystery Machine and, and Shag and Scoob and Freddy and Velma and Daphne.
Scrappy
Not
Doo.
Scrappy doing his puppy power.
Yeah.
Well, those are the days like where Scooby and Shaggy were scaredy cats, but maybe that was the whole theme of the show.
No, it just they needed Return of the Star Wars jumped the shark with Ewoks.
Yep.
Every time, but maybe that was the way it was written. Shaggy, yeah, Scoob, and then Scooby snacks, but they were solving mysteries every time,
And Jaws jumped the shark when it was in 3D.
Yeah.
That's right. Jaws jumped the shark.
See, now you understand.
Sort of. It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
Quincy jumped the shark when he had orange juice instead of milk.
Now, do you think Three's Company jumped the shark at all?
Oh, yeah. Once Chrissy left, that show sucked.
think so?
Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, was more of a jumping the shark? The Ropers.
Well, yeah. I mean, they should never have started their own show.
Yeah, I mean, they never came back. But we did get Mr. Furley.
Yeah, that's why I said I think it lasted a little
See,
bit.
well, I didn't like Three's Company with, what's her name? Cindy.
Jenna Lee Harrison?
Yeah, Cindy
Yeah,
Snow.
she's too stupid.
It was just, she was like,
It was too much like banging her head and
it
everything.
was just
and-
dumb.
Yeah.
I loved the original Three's Company. Did not appreciate Suzanne Summers until I became an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, not only she was gorgeous, but she was hysterical.
Yeah, she was very
She
funny.
could go tit for tat with Jack Jack Tripper.
Yep. Just remember that where she's dancing in the living room.
And
in
the
that
blue.
Yeah. my three sisters and my mother, and I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Especially when she had that one-sided ponytail.
It's like, I'm going to be in the bathroom for 15 minutes.
But you know what? She jumped the shark when they put all that makeup on her.
Yeah, she didn't need any of that.
She did not need that
All
at all.
frosted up.
Yeah, she looked like a poodle.
Yeah, that was lame.
When they jumped the shark to this other show, the theme of it was cute, but that's all it was. Called Three's a Crowd, and I watched a few episodes of
That
it.
was horrible.
Yeah,
That's like the theme of it was good, but that's all.
Yeah.
It lasted for a few seconds. Do 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 do.
It was ass in eye.
It's like Jack Ripper finally got his restaurant called what was it called?
Jack's Bistro.
Why do we remember this shit? Honest to God.
Who's the third president? I have no idea.
Yeah.
What was the name of Jack's restaurant? Three's Company. Jack's Bistro
Where's Montana on the map? Got me.
with Felipe.
Yeah. What was it? What he used to... Mejefe? You used to call him?
Hello, Jacques.
but the
Mr.
show.
Angelino. Mr. Angelino. That douchey actor.
Oh, he was
Trevor.
he was also the scumbag Dean in Ghostbusters.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Dean Yeager.
This It's amazing the things we remember.
We just memorize this junk. But getting through my earpiece from a mystery producer tonight that we have to go to a big time
Let's do it.
commercial break. But I've been ordered. We have to have this.
Beautiful.
We'll be back.
Hi, this is Leah Thompson, and you're watching After Hours with TC Restani.
Alrighty, welcome back from that big time commercial break. We're back here on the After Hours of T-Shirt Shine, the podcast, the first one of 2025.
Yeah, we're trying to get back on solid ground again. It feels like it's been up forever.
2025, a quarter of this century.
In the year 2525.
Well, that's a few years from now.
500 years from now, that song will be relevant.
Buck Rogers will be there.
That's right.
Beady, 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 beady.
Can you imagine 500 years from now?
Can you imagine 500 years ago? What year would have that been?
14? No.
15
something.
1525.
Was that before or after? See, we can remember Three's Company, but I can't remember if that was before or after the Pilgrims. Oh, it had to be before.
1620 was the Pilgrim.
Yeah, I was going to say, because 1776.
So that was like almost 100 years before the Pilgrims.
I wonder what was going on. What was here in 1525?
In Boston?
Like right here where we are. At the
podcast penthouse?
Yeah.
Well, probably.
Trees?
Yeah. Like Doc Brothers, this is farmland as far as the eye could see.
Amazing though when you think about
trees. I mean, it was pretty much, it was before the Pilgrims came, so it was just wilderness. Maybe a hut or a teepee here and there.
Some Indians.
You know, chilling around. You never know. But yeah.
500 years from now, though. Whew.
500 years from now.
Jeez, it almost staggers the mind
Does.
when you try to think about it.
I'm just going back thinking more of Three's Company episodes, but
Do you remember that song, though? 2525?
in the year 2525.
If man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find. Doom, 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 doom. In the year 2525. Remember that?
Now I do, sort of like
Zager and Evans.
Well, 3 celebrities will not be around in 25,
All right,
25.
now we were talking about this before we went on. I know 2.
Okay. I'll let you talk about them after I reveal.
Oh, okay.
I think he actually, this one died first.
Really?
Jeannot Schwartz. Why don't you tell Quincy who Jeannot Schwartz was?
I don't know.
the director of Jaws, Jaws 2.
Jaws 2, not Steven
Jaws 2.
Spielberg.
Wow.
You know what?
And that's your guys' favorite Jaws, right?
You know what? Jaws 2 has a very special place in my heart. I mean, I saw it with my grandmother, who never saw the original Jaws, who didn't know what was all about. So we went to the theater in Medford Square in 1978 when Jaws 2 came out.
Wait a minute, how old were you?
I would have been 7.
Jesus.
So we were at the theater, and my grandmother was petrified because unlike the original Jaws, you saw the shark more in Jaws 2.
Yep.
Even though that's a psychological thing, and that's why I made Jaws the original, the classic that it is, and that turns 50 years, this year as well, which is crazy. So we're sitting there, and she was like, not petrified, but like scared. And I'll never forget it. She got the biggest pop of the night when the shark bit the cable at the end and got electrocuted. She said at the top of her lungs, "Good, the son of a bitch is dead." And everybody in the theater turned around and just started applauding her.
That's funny. That's funny.
So every time I see that scene, I think of that reaction.
Isn't that funny?
And then that really must have screwed up with her because she didn't want to go to the bathroom that night.
Shark will come up to the toilet.
My grandfather's like, what, we're on the second floor. You think a shark's going to come up with a pipe this big?
Even on the first floor, Grandpa would be safe.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's no ocean right next door. So, but yeah, that was psychological thriller for her. But yeah, Jeannot Schwartz.
But it's interesting, though, that's like when you said that has a special place in my heart.
Right.
The only other film I can think of that has it was King Kong 76 for me.
There you go.
Because my old man, I remember when my old man saw Jessica Lange for the first time, he gave me the elbow and he did like the Groucho eyebrows.
Was he afraid to go up to the Empire State Building after that?
No, he loved it. He thought it was better than the original King Kong.
With Fay Ray?
Yeah. And you think about it.
I mean, that was just, for its time, it was an incredible breakthrough.
Sure. But if you had to sit down and watch either one of them, I'm sorry, I'm picking 76. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I enjoyed that one, but it took too long to get the monkey on
You got to
screen.
look at Jessica Lange.
I understand that. And she actually still looked pretty good when she was on American Horror Story,
Yeah.
like 20 years later. Maybe even 30 years later. But yeah, Jeannot Schwartz, he was the director. I think he directed like Santa Claus, the movie, and a bunch of other junk. But
Jeannot Schwartz.
he will be known for forever as the
Well,
director
rest
of
in
Jaws
peace,
2.
Jeannot Schwartz.
There we go. He's 85.
Wow, well, he lived a good life.
Just
anyway.
Just when you think it was safe to go back in the water.
Yeah.
The most memorable line in movie trailer history.
What about the quote?
Just when you think it was safe to go back in the
No,
water.
what did Chief Brody say to
Yeah.
the council?
Oh, but I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen them up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through the hell again. Thank you. Thank you.
Academy Award performance.
Thank you, Roy Briscoe.
Yes.
Who are the other two that tapped?
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker, Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, funny story about Bob Uecker. Artie Lang tells this great story when him and Norm Macdonald got invited to go play golf with Bob Uecker. The guy has like one of the filthiest mouths, and nobody ever really knew that. And one of the things they did one time, he invited them up to the box to listen to him do play-by-play in a game, and he had a cough button. So whenever he coughed, he hit the button so his mic would go dead. But he would do that while he's calling the game. He goes, all right, 3 on the line here. We got so-and-so up at bat. We got 2 and 1 is the count. And he'd hit a button. He goes, look at the yams on that babe over there. And then he'd go back and, bounce over to first base, 3 outs. Okay. And he would just do this through the whole game. And then he'd say, hey, do you know who that guy is sitting over there? And they'd be like, who? He goes, that's John Fogerty, for Christ's sakes. And they were like, John Fogerty? He goes, yeah, you never hear him? He goes, yeah, he's the lead singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival. He sings, does all that shit. I'll get him up here in the 7th inning. He'll sing for you, for Christ's sakes. But I guess he had like the filthiest mouth. He would tell these filthy jokes and everything and just bust people's balls.
Maybe that's why he got cast in Major League as Harry Doyle.
Probably. Great role. I mean, my God.
But for me, Bob Uecker will always be the announcer at WrestleMania 3
That's true.
and 4.
Yep.
He was the one who, I can still hear it in my head. The winner of the bout and still World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion, Hulk Hogan. And who could forget at WrestleMania 4 when Andre choked him?
That's right, yeah.
And shook his head. That's like one of the most famous gifts that are out there on the internet.
100%. So he will be missed.
And
but
Mr. Belvedere.
that was the other thing. What did he say about Mr. Belvedere? Oh,
Christopher Hewitt.
yeah. She goes, so he's got Artie Lang and he's got Norm Macdonald. This is what I wanted to tell you. And he's going, yeah, the whole time I was doing that show, I never knew the guy was gay. He was a 3-door fag, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, no.
That's what he called him. That's what he called him. And we can say that now because he's dead. That's not me, folks. That's Bob Uecker. He's a 3-door fag, for Christ's
My
sakes.
goodness.
A 3-door.
What does that mean?
Oh, yeah, 3.
You count the nostril?
3-door. I don't know.
I've heard in the adult industry a 3-input woman.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's funny. Earlier it made sense to me, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Maybe he was into docking. I don't know.
That rock group?
No, docking. When they stick their.
Oh. It's a good thing we're not on camera right now.
I had to Google that, for Christ's sakes. But then I'm like, oh, that's what docking. And David Lynch passed away.
David Lynch, the weirdo film
Today.
director.
Yep.
Who did Dune in 1984.
Yeah, the guy with the. I still don't know. I went to the theater. I don't know what that movie was about.
It's about a Dune.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
About
that
worms
fat guy
and a
floating
su-
around and all these leaking and everything.
Vladimir, whatever his name was.
With the spice and everything, and he's just like, it was a very creepy movie. But I was told by my nephews to watch the new Dune that came out, and I do have that on my to-watch list. But I
The
haven't
84 one is so midnight madness movie
Yeah,
to watch.
The big deal was like Sting was in it, and then he showed up in these like blue panties. And
He's in
like,
it for like 5 minutes.
yeah. I was like, this isn't doing it for me.
Captain Picard's in that movie too.
Is he really?
Patrick Stewart.
Wow,
Kyle MacLachlan. He was in everything of David Lynch.
that's true. That was
was his De Niro.
Yeah, Blue Velvet. He was in.
Twin Peaks.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. I never watched an episode of that,
It was too odd. I tried it.
and I never saw Eraserhead. Everyone talks about Eraserhead.
Oh, I seen the poster of that, and it turned me completely
yeah.
off.
I have no interest seeing it by the look of the guy. I'm like, okay,
If Jeff was here, which we wish he was,
Yeah.
he would have known everything about
Yeah.
David Lynch.
all these, he would have been.
Well, yeah, he was,
Like
this
these,
and that.
These 3 losers don't know what they're talking about.
Right, no, David Lynch, he did a lot of things that were just weird.
But like I try to prepare you for this by sending you that clip of our buddy.
Well, Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, that was strange. From what was that?
Cousin Dale, Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart. Your cousin Dale. With
Very sexy movie. Laura Dern looks awesome in that movie.
She doesn't look like a Jurassic dinosaur.
No, I'll tell you right now, that's a good movie. Nicolas Cage is really funny.
What was Crispin Glover doing with a cockroach?
Yeah, his mother. He was her cousin, and she was telling stories to George
McFly.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage's character. They were laying in bed, and she was talking about her family and her cousin Dale, and Crispin Glover played her cousin Dale, and his mother found cockroaches in her underwear. And one day they found out that he had one on his anus. And the clip of him is like standing outside the house, really enjoying whatever's going on back there, and he's like sort of dancing.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was Crispin. When Crispin Glover like read that part, he goes, "All right, I'll take it. I'm sure.
I'll do it for free.
I'm making my lunch." So yeah, he's dead. But he was a heavy smoker.
Okay.
So I mean, when you hear someone like that die, you're like, "Oh, geez, that's too bad." But
Well, at least Schwartz was 85 and Bob Uecker was 90.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, Lynch
was like 77, 78.
70 years old, and he had some time left, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all those like midnight shows like the Coolidge and whatnot will have a field day with him now. They'll have David Lynch nights. Every next year.
Coolidge definitely is going to do a big tribute.
They'll have a big tribute, and then what's today's date? The 16th?
Yes.
So every January 16th, they'll have a David Lynch night at the Coolidge.
Yes.
Guarantee it.
Back-to-back Eraserheads.
Right.
Maybe we'll go see it. I still have no idea. I've never even seen a clip of the movie.
It came out in like the 70s.
Yeah,
It was just. I've
It's like
seen
one of those midnight movies.
Wasn't
they
it black
started-
and white?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just odd.
He did Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Dune, Wild at Heart, which is my favorite.
Elephant Man was also in black and white.
Yep. The Lost Highway, The Straight Story, Mulholland Drive, and Inland Empire, which was his last film, I think, from 2006. And then he did a bunch of like web films and TV series and things like that. But
I used to get him and John Waters mixed up when I was like in high school.
yeah, I never did.
Well, obviously, because you were fans, but I'm just saying they had that same avant-garde weirdness to it.
Yeah. Lynch would probably be increased. Actually, they would probably both be insulted by that comparison if I know John
I'm
Waters.
sorry.
No,
But
I'm just saying.
But David Lynch, did they base Kramer off of him with the hair?
Well, yeah, the hair. And there is a great video of him losing his shit on one of the movie's sets. Somebody said something, and he just like completely like snaps and starts screaming at everybody, which is always fun to watch when someone does that.
They have a breakdown, or a meltdown.
Just telling people off.
Well, he's the director. It is a hard job.
Yeah. It's sad that he's gone. Maybe him and Jeff. He's probably like the first person he ran into is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff's up there right now at the pearly gates with a Sharpie.
Walking behind him on his tiptoes.
David Lynch, hi, welcome. I can show you the ropes, but can you sign this Eraserhead poster for me?
My heaven's over there, that movie theater. No one's in there. Come on in.
We can run movies for eternity. That's how I envision Jeff up there right now.
Yeah.
Is just him going around with a never drying, Sharpie that's never going to dry out.
Yeah.
Just waiting there, going, today, it's Schwartz.
Did you see the leaked photo that's been going around
Of Jeff?
No,
Heaven?
of Heaven.
No, I have not.
Let me see if I can
no.
find it, for crying out loud. But I saw this on the interwebs today.
Was this something from like Weekly World News or something?
You would think.
Was Bat Boy taking the photo?
But it was like some sort of AI generated, but then they're saying it's actually real.
Some of this AI stuff fools me.
Yeah, a lot of the wrestling stuff has been coming
Well,
on.
some of these like Instagram models that I'm following, and then I find out they're AI models.
Yes.
It's like, that's kind of weird.
Let's see if this is if I can get this picture up. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Are we going to go to Martha's Vineyard this year for the 50th anniversary?
I'd love to.
We've always been saying we wanted to go back to Martha's Vineyard to see. I haven't been there since the day Elvis died.
Elvis died. Okay, no, hold on.
That was August 16th.
I can't make it any bigger, and I can't get an isolated picture of it.
All right, let's see what the afterlife looks like, supposedly.
Okay, this might help. You might like this, Quincy, but I'll tell you, I'm not too thrilled with it because
Was it all milk?
it's covered in snow. Look at it.
Does Santa Claus live there?
Doesn't it? I mean, I was like,
That's heaven?
that's supposedly.
For what, Eskimos?
I don't know, man.
It looks like
I mean, it looks warm inside.
some planet in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And why was at night? Because there's space there, unless heaven is
Man,
in the heavens.
you got me, but I was kind of disappointed, I have to say.
Yeah, that looks like a casino with a blizzard.
I could see
That's
that.
what it looks like.
Yeah, do you think that looks like heaven?
I think that's sort of like, because look at it, doesn't it almost look like clouds? They say like heaven's the streets of gold. Look at this, it has a gate, and it has like...
It's got a gate.
well, heaven, it's everything that you hear about, you learned about. I think that's your streets of gold, that awaits us.
Imagine running into people like how did they make it in? That's what I think is going to be the big letdown for me.
What you make, how
they
you get
make
there is you're served by doing what we
I know,
do now.
but I mean, that there's going to be people in there that lived worse than you. You did everything right, and you're going to see some guy that was like a jerk to you,
Right.
like growing up or something. Like, well, what's he doing here?
Well, he saved a bunch of kids on fire when he was 32.
I hope there's like a little story that goes with everybody. I'm just doing the best I can, but I just know there's going to be people up there. Yeah, the leaked photo of heaven is going viral on social media.
Well, let me put it this way. First of all, each and every one of us has our way of getting there, but I think when he says he has reserved seats for all of us, but they're in sections, that way there's no clashing.
What is this, the Boston Garden?
Yeah, reserved seats, right?
Oh, no, this is what you call like...
They have obstructed views or anything?
You ever see the movie Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks?
Of course I did.
That to me was a great...
I always, even before I even thought that, I thought you would see like a movie screen and you could like play a part of your life.
Yeah. It was great.
Why do you think he has reserved seats for all of us in our own sections? Because each and every one of us has our own specialty of serving right now. And
I
then,
get that, but I mean, that part of it I understand, but the whole physical, what do you want it to be like this when you get up there, or do you want it to be,
I don't know. I'm not.
But I like defending your. You know what I liked about defending your life, that they could go in and eat anything,
and they wouldn't gain a pound.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, just the joy of eating.
Sure, it was like a big buffet.
I mean, can you imagine that?
You have the water that makes you thirst no more. Well, you learn everything now.
Thirst no more. I want to be thirsty up there. I want to be rivers of beer.
Well, that's one of the scriptures that you learn.
That's probably the devil's liquid. I don't know.
No.
Man.
It's like,
This would make my head spin now. But.
No, there's a scripture called. Why don't you take some of the water that makes you thirst
Listen,
no more?
everyone knows the Bible jumped the shark with the New Testament, right?
New and Old Testaments.
That's actually a pretty good joke.
Well, you learn everything you can from
The Bible can't jump the shark when Lot's wife turned to a pillar of salt, in my opinion.
Maybe she just had high blood pressure.
And you serve it and just tell it the
All the
best you
deer
can.
came out of the woods and started licking her.
That's really what it comes down to. We've been doing our parts, each and every one of us in our own different ways.
All right.
Today's Thursday, not Sunday, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I got a new honey for you.
You got a new honey?
well,
Honeycomb's big.
You know how we always-
Yeah.
It's not
This one's
small.
big.
No.
So I've been watching this show. This is the last thing I'll mention what I watched. It was called Deadwind on Netflix.
Deadwind.
Deadwind. It's a Finnish, Finnish.
Oh, Finnish.
From Finland.
Not like the finish line at a marathon.
Detective series. And I want to show you the female protagonist that I've fallen in love with.
The female protagonist
Because I
that you have
think-
fallen in love with.
I think this is right up your alley, if I remember, TC. Of course, it's a Finland name, so I have to write it correctly so I can.
Have you ever
show
been to Finland?
No, I would like to go though.
Just because of her?
No, as much as I hate the cold, it just looks really, really awesome. I don't
Well,
know.
that's where they filmed The Empire Strikes Back.
True. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean it's. So scroll to the right, you'll see all the different pictures of her.
Okay, let's see.
So
here.
some of them she's.
I can't see without my glasses. here.
I kind of think that she might be in your.
Oh
your
yeah,
wheelhouse.
she definitely has the look, especially here.
I was thinking of Jenny Lavoie a little bit.
Oh,
there.
my good friend. I saw text with her all the time. She dyed her hair blonde here, and
That might have been for a role.
that's like, oh, forget it. Look at that.
Keep going. They get better.
What is this girl's name?
Her name is
Phila.
Pila Viatala.
Oh,
It's a great series too. If anyone out there, it's Deadwind. It's 3 seasons, and we just finished season 1. It's
yeah.
fantastic.
She definitely would fall into that
Yeah,
category.
I knew right away. I says this is right up TC's alley.
100%.
And let me see if there's the picture of her how she looked in the series that I just watched. Let me see. I know there was one in there.
Yeah, there's no new like Emmy Rossums that I'm like going crazy over on because I don't watch nothing anymore.
She's 42 right now.
That's nothing.
No, not for me anyway. 42 would be.
I got socks older than that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she's a nice looking girl, and she's a great actress too.
Oh, of course.
No, she really is. Very, very. Now I'm just looking at the pictures, wasting time. But no, she. So look for her. Everyone out there, Pihla is her first name. Last name is Viitala. So
Wow.
If you want to see what gets our engines revved, check
Get
this
your
babe.
motor running.
Catch this babe.
She
out.
has what cousin Leah ordered for me. TC, she has the look.
The look.
The look. Unbelievable.
So check that series out. Although you don't have Netflix, right?
I don't have Netflix, but I'm sure I
Get
can
it.
find it. I don't know why, so I can watch Monday Night Raw.
No, so you can watch Pihla Vitala.
I can find her on YouTube or Celebrity Skin or something like that. She'll pop up. There's going to be like 100 fan sites for her already.
Great show though.
I'm sure it is. 2025.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What about
What do you think? You have any New Year's predictions?
predictions? I really don't know.
Are the drones going to come back? They seem to just vanish.
Yeah, they just vanished.
Right.
We replaced it with Hulk Hogan and the fires. I think the drones were out there looking for something to light on fire, and they found us. Oh, let's just light up LA.
What's your theory on the fires? A lot of celebrity homes got torched.
Yeah, you know it.
Could that be covering up the Epstein trail?
I did say that any evidence that existed in those homes is gone now.
Completely gone.
Yeah. So I think we're going to start seeing trucks were showing up in the middle of the night and taking stuff as all the good stuff went out. I don't know.
Or whoever they had duct taped to a wall downstairs.
I will say this. I would put nothing past the Hollywood of today. You could very well be right. Nothing would surprise me. Of course, there's a lot of people that were just, their lives were ruined by this, and I feel terrible. But there's a lot of scumbag celebrities who I don't give a shit about, and I'm glad it happened.
Who would be on that list?
Mark Hamill would be one of them. He had suffered some devastation from
Did
what I
he?
understand. Yes, he was crying and
Well,
very
did Rob
upset.
Reiner finally catch himself on fire with the
we
fires?
haven't heard about him. You know, he said he was going to light himself on fire. Maybe that's how it happened.
He lit himself on fire and just got
Yeah.
lost.
He put a match in his belly button and he just went right up, and then the next thing you know,
Why would someone want to light themselves on fire?
because Donald Trump's the president. According to Rob Reiner, he would light himself on fire if
What's
Donald
that
Trump.
got to do with anything?
Quincy, your guess is as good as mine. Go ask Rob Meathead Reiner.
You know, you play with fire, you're going to get burned.
100%.
You know,
Somebody played with fire out in Los Angeles, and you know.
I mean, he was known for the meathead. He made a lot of good money off that. Who didn't love Archie Bunker? Why in the hell did even Archie why in the hell would the meathead play with fire?
Well,
Yeah.
that's also acting, Quincy, because Carol O'Connor was a big left.
Well, did you hear
Wing actor.
The controversy that's going around? Sally Struthers is doing all these podcasts now.
Oh God!
And what she's doing is she's telling the truth about her co-stars. Now, she really hasn't thrown anyone under the bus except for Norman Lear and Betty White so far.
They're dead.
Well, she says, and that's why I can tell you the story. She goes, Norman Lear has been taking credit for All in the Family since the day the show started.
He was just the producer.
Carol O'Connor came up with the concept of the characters and the show and brought it to Norman Lear, and Norman Lear never gave him credit for
He
it.
was the middleman.
Yeah. Just never gave him credit.
He was the
for it.
money man.
And then she tells a story about how she was at Betty White's house and they were going over the rehearsals for some show and the other actors were there and stuff. She was doing something with Betty White. And one of Betty White's maids or whatever brought out some refreshments and cookies and stuff. And Sally Struthers, of course, reached for a cookie and she goes, "Oh, no, dear, you don't need a cookie. You don't need a cookie," right in front of everybody.
Maybe she wanted to feed the children.
I think she wanted to feed herself, but you know what? Betty White had no right to do that. Fat shamed her in front of everybody.
And this is probably the 70s.
Yeah. Well, no,
80s.
it might have been, but it's probably when she was heavier.
Okay.
She said that she was fat shamed because when she was on the show, a couple of those episodes, I mean, she was a smoke show. You know, I know we don't like blondes, but for a blonde, she was.
Nah, because she just cried a lot on that show.
Yeah, she did, but there were times like she came in.
I mean,
and it was
don't get me wrong. I like that show. Archie Bunker is probably one of the greatest characters. But that
100%.
show jumped the shark, too.
well,
It dropped a shock when he had Archie's place.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
100%.
First
Edith,
of all-
when Edith died, I mean, I think.
First of all, I think
Oh,
the
when
way
they moved to California, maybe.
Well, that was Laverne and Shirley.
No, the Mike and Gloria moved to California and they got Steffi.
Oh, that's right. They had that stupid spinoff called.
Yeah, and then
and wasn't Burgess Meredith on that?
No.
Yeah, wasn't he she became like a veterinarian or something?
Jesus, I don't know.
Look that up right now before we go off the air.
All in the Family?
No. Gloria, the show Gloria, the spinoff.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Jesus.
Mike and Gloria and her son.
Little Joey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joey and
I don't think Rob Reiner was on that show.
No, they got divorced.
Okay, but I think Mickey was on that.
Sally Struthers, Gloria Stivic.
I think it was Gloria and Joey, right? Something to the effect.
See, there's all stories about her talking about Betty White. And, wait a minute now.
Just look up the cast of Gloria.
Well, it's tough because that's kind of a general name.
and it's a song too. Gloria.
Gloria.
Gloria sitcom. Gloria sitcom. Gloria sitcom.
But if you ask me,
Gloria. Hold on. Cast.
Sally Struthers.
Son of a bitch, you're right. He was Dr. Wilfred Adams. Paul Rodriguez was also on that show.
Okay, we have another death. Right off the presses here.
What?
I don't know who this is, but maybe you do. You know who Linda Nolan is?
No.
Linda Nolan, beloved TV and pop star, has died at the age of 65.
Linda Nolan? Does it say, how do you spell Nolan?
Nolan, like Nolan.
Oh.
Linda Nolan.
Does not ring a bell. to me.
It's from England, so maybe we should call McMurphy. He probably know.
He probably does. Irish singer.
Okay, Linda Nolan. I'm on Instagram right now.
Oh, wait a minute. Was she in,
I don't know, but Linda Nolan, you know, there's another one.
yeah.
Linda Nolan.
Was she on, Mrs. Brown's Boys?
I have no clue.
Which is a very funny show. I don't think so. I'm looking at all the things. Yeah, I've definitely seen this woman around. Well, that's sad. Rest in peace, Linda Nolan.
Rest in peace, Linda Nolan. And I was right about Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, Jesus, I don't remember that show at all.
It was like after MASH. You remember that stupid spinoff?
Yeah, that I remember.
Like 4
unfortunately.
people in the world watched that, and one of them was me. But do you remember Walter? The other spinoff that was Radar's own show. It was called Walter.
Radar O'Reilly?
Yes.
Jeez, I don't remember
Gary
that.
Berghoff had his own show called Walter.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that one. I think I don't know if that was before or after MASH,
It sounds like it would be after.
but it was garbage.
I guess he was a real asshole.
You know, he's got a gimmicked hand too.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they said it was always hidden.
It was always hidden behind like a clipboard or his teddy bear or something like that.
I heard he was not very well liked by the cast.
Is that why they got rid of him?
I don't know. You know who else was not liked?
No.
Aunt B.
Oh, really?
Yes. Brutal. They said she was, Andy hated her.
Well, Andy was an asshole.
Yeah, he was, but they didn't get along at all. And she really was brutal to Goober. Goober.
How can you be brutal to Goober?
She hit him over the head with an umbrella so hard it bent.
Really?
And she berated him in front of the whole cast. And
Imagine that happened now, he'd slug her.
Yeah, it really bothered him like for years, like just her reaction. And at the end, she reached out to Andy, from what I understand, and said she's sorry that she behaved that way and everything. And then later in the years, Andy Griffith and Ron Howard went to visit her, and she wouldn't see them.
Fuck you, Aunt B.
Yeah. Frances Bavier.
Who gives a shit?
But I guess she was a real bitch to everybody.
That's what the B stood for.
Yeah.
Bitch.
And bitch.
So
But I
I
hate hearing
guess
stuff like that because it's such a great show and you're watching like.
See, I never liked those shows.
I liked Andy Griffith.
There was really not many 1960s shows that I liked.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island, I liked.
Yeah.
Star Trek, I liked.
Like Star Trek.
First season kind of was the 60s. The Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Partridge Family. Other than that,
In like Room 222.
well, I did because Judy
you did?
Strangis was on it,
Judy Strangis.
who played Diner Girl.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause
She's
they
one
had
of the
to-
students.
She was, when they had that thing at Chiller, it was the Room 222 / Electro Woman and Diner Girl
Interesting.
reunion.
I didn't know she was on that show.
So,
I
yeah,
remember Karen Valentine.
She was there too.
She was cute. You must have watched Room 222 back in the day.
Oh yeah, I've watched some of those. I forgot really what they are now, but
So yeah, I'm definitely a product of the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, oh, me too, man.
Nothing in the 60s that I like.
Well, by the time I got old enough to watch TV, and really realize what TV was, my favorite show was Speed Racer. But
But that's a cartoon.
Yeah, but still was a great show.
But I'm just saying that most of those shows in the 60s were like Westerns.
yeah.
And I wasn't a big Western fan. I grew up in Boston, for Christ's sake.
I watched Bonanza as a kid. My favorite cowboy show, if you could call it that, would be Kung Fu, set in the West.
Yeah, but that was different.
Yeah, but it was a Western.
I mean, I like Little House on the Prairie, and that people call that a Western. People call that a Western.
I'm only kidding.
But
That is a very good
But it
show.
took place in Minnesota. Yeah. Because they rode horses. You know why? Cars weren't invented.
I watched that show because I had the biggest crush on the blonde girl.
Mary Ingalls, her real name was Melissa Sue Anderson.
Yes, she was a doll. Because she was on an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Millicent.
Bobby's first kiss. I remember
That's
that's
right.
when I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, wow.
He almost got the mumps
That's right, Millicent's mumps.
from Mill.
I will take the mumps from her as a little kid. I remember
Really?
her and we must have been down this road a million times, but I'm trying to think when I was a little kid, like the ones that would. I think I had a crush on one of the girls from Zoom.
I have no idea on that one.
Zoom.
That was filmed
Come on,
around here.
Zoom,
Yeah,
zoom,
yeah,
zoom,
over in Brighton.
zoom.
Come on,
Everybody's
Zuma,
doing
Zuma,
it.
Zuma.
Everybody's doing it. Everybody's having a ball.
I think it was an Asian girl.
Really?
She used to do this thing with her arms. She'd like go.
Oh, I'm Bernadette.
Hey, very good, Bernadette. That was her name. Let's see if we can find Bernadette from Zoom. See what she looked like back then.
Mine was Emmy Joe
Oh my God.
from the New Zoo Review. And
They're so active on Facebook.
and I got to meet her, and she's the sweetest person.
Yes. And you told her about that.
And I told her about that. She goes, "Oh, that's so flattering."
And she said she hears a lot of that.
I said, "Of course. How could you not?" I mean, she had on those go-go boots and those little mini skirts, and she was dancing around with friggin' frogs and hippos and an owl. You know, when you're like 5.
Quincy, that's amazing that you remember her name was Bernadette.
Well, look whose seat he's sitting in.
She's much cuter now.
Okay, yeah, she just needs longer hair.
But like I look like back then she had longer hair. I mean, she was like,
Okay.
yeah, but I remember like, and she did this thing with her arms. Remember she did that?
But she
thing?
didn't have on one of those Zoom sweaters. Though.
No, there is a picture of her with the Zoom shirt on though. Where's the video of her? That's so funny. You remembered her name was.
Of course he did.
Well, those are the days of
You
like,
probably mixed up batches to Zoom.
The video.
Now, how old were you when you were cranking it to this?
Well, I wasn't. No, I want to make a point. This is like when I was like, before I was corrupted. This was like when you have a crush on a girl, puppy love type of thing.
Puppy
I wasn't yanking it to this. Trust me. I was like, oh, look at her, and she did the thing with her arms. And then as you get older, you just become more filthy and disgusting.
So it's kind of like me that my first television crush was Jacqueline Smith.
Yeah, you
And,
know.
and the thing that really drove me crazy, and I don't know why it drove me crazy at 6 years old. Remember when the opening and she had her hair and she twirled it and
yeah.
it went right over her eye?
yeah.
I had a sticker of that on my bed.
See, when you were a young kid, before you were corrupted, before you knew the other things you could actually do,
Right.
you just thought that was the most beautiful
Right.
thing in the world. Then you find out, well, wait a minute, you can do what with women? But this is like before that. So that's like the pure innocence of.
Do you know what still drives me crazy when a woman does it?
What?
Tilts her head.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if some primal thing or something I saw on TV as a kid.
I remember somebody once said, watch the way a woman turns her head when she's putting an earring on. That kind of like gets me a little bit. We're awful sick tonight.
Oh,
huh?
and Marsha Brady like brushed her hair like 100 times.
Yeah, before bed. Because she had that stupid long robe on.
And little you know, she's blowing people for coke.
Yeah, damn. Sam the Butcher had the best blow, I'll tell you.
Hey, Marsha, come on, you want some of my meat?
You ever snort coke off a leg of lamb? Come on.
And on that note, Quincy, why don't you wrap up the first show of 2025?
Well, we thank you for watching our very first show, and we hope to have you back with lots more shows and then some. So, thank you for watching. Please drive home carefully, and remember, we never close.
Hallelujah.
Aloha!